This brand hijacked AG1's product and scaled their brand to over $100 million in under 2 years. Now they do over $300 million a year. This is Gruns. If you haven't heard of them, maybe you live under a rock, but they have the most dialed e-commerce funnel that I've ever seen, and I'm breaking it all down in this video. So make sure you watch all this and look at the amount of sauce that they use so that you can apply it to your brand. So this is Gruns. They sell superfood like green gummies. It's a very similar daily product like vitamin compared to AG1. The only thing is Gruns realized that people don't love the taste of AG1. They turn the green powder into gummies. And this makes it a lot more fun and something that people can actually enjoy eating. Now this opened up two massive opportunities for them. One, they were able to market the fact that you don't have to have this like chunky green powder. And two, they could reach a market that AG1 could never. Kids. Because no kid would actually like drink this AG1 green juice just because it tastes terrible. Especially in comparison to a green fun gummy bear. So this already gave them an edge in the green supplement space. All they needed next was to get people's attention and then be able to convert that attention. In this video, we are going to break down their acquisition strategy, their conversion strategy, and then their retention strategy. So let's get into their main channel that they use for acquisition and getting attention, and that is Meta. So we can go into the Meta ad library right here and see that Gruns has over 590 ads live right now. And at other points, I've seen them have over 1,200 ads live, which is just insane. Most brands put up like 50 ads and think they're putting in a ton of work, but you see what these top brands are doing, and they are just pumping volume, volume, volume. Especially with the new Andromeda update, Meta is favoring brands that just pump out a ton of different creatives. This is gonna help drive your CPMs down, and it's gonna help you find winners and scale them fast. And there are three types of ads that they are using within their account. Number one, and probably the most effective, is going to be their white labeling ads. White labeling, whitelisting, whatever you wanna call it. Essentially, you are partnering with some sort of influencer in their account, and you get to borrow that person's account and run ads from it. And so instead of having an ad coming from Gruns, the brand, which is obviously like trying to sell you something, they could have an ad right here, like their partnership with Drew Barrymore, the celebrity. They're able to run ads from Drew Barrymore's account. And then they're able to essentially hijack her list and her followers that she already has. And so there's much more trust built into it. So you can see like it's this white labeling ad of her like trying the product, and then it's some sort of skit that's very, very just like Drew Barrymore-esque. You can go down, you can see all of the different influencers right here who already have audiences that they are white labeling. And then they do it like a collaboration post. And so you have the person and then with Gruns. So if somebody is interested in the product or they want to know more information about the brand, they can click onto the brand profile directly from the ad. Now what they also do with this is they actually won't even show their name. They'll have ads just running directly from people's accounts. You can see like all the different white labeling people that they're using right here. And it just goes on and on with all sorts of different accounts. This is brilliant because it borrows on people's audiences that they've already built. And you're able to just plug yourself in and get lower cost per clicks. This is becoming even more popular in 2026. So if you're not doing anything like this, I highly recommend you give it a go. And then the second type of ad that they run is they're just going to do video ads directly from their account. And most often it doesn't typically have like a UGC person in there. Usually if they have UGC, they're gonna white label it, but they'll have ads like this right here, holiday gifting right here. If it's a video, just like showing the product and hey, just like holiday offer right here. You can go to this one as well, which is sort of like an educational one right here. And then you also have this one for Fiverr as well. And these are going to be the ones that are much easier to create, especially with AI, and you don't need to get like approval from like influencers and then run ads from their account or like set up all that sort of stuff. And so these ones are a lot more scalable and easier to run. But still very difficult to do at scale because you still have to hire these UGC people. You got to do all the editing and all that crazy stuff. And so the third type of ad that they're running are statics. And you can see just how many statics they're running. So right here, this is like an educational quick static right here. And then they have this one, which is like an offer-based static. You have Ozempic's new bestie right here. You have this Poopmore one. You've got this one, which is like fun. And you can see that it's around like, I would say 25% of all of their ads are these statics, which literally they are creating with AI, and they can literally pump out like hundreds of these every single day if they wanted to. That's the beauty of static ads. You're able to pump out a shit ton and it doesn't take too much effort. So they really double down on this poop sort of angle right here, which they see do a lot. You can see they even go after like their competitor, AG1 right here, like us versus them. They're not afraid to kind of like compare themselves right there. Other than that, just a shit ton of different angles that they're trying out. And that's the different types of ads that they're running on Meta, but that is not the most impressive part. The most impressive part is where they are taking people after they click. See, most brands, they just drive all their traffic to one generic landing page or one generic product page. But Gruns takes this 10 steps further, and they're going to direct you to a custom landing page depending on the benefit of the ad that you just clicked on. So let's try this ad. This is one, Ozempic's new bestie. And so it's Gruns 20+ vitamins for GLP-1 support. This whole ad is talking specifically about if you are on GLP-1s. It's a type of peptide for weight loss. And if somebody clicks on this page right here, you think they're taking you to your general homepage? No, they have a specific educational listicle right here, a landing page specific to the ad that the person clicked on. It says 7 benefits GLP-1 users love about Gruns. And then they have their crazy offer, which we'll talk about here shortly. But it's just a listicle educating on sort of like Gruns and how the product goes well with GLP-1. And then they, of course, then have the product right here. So that's just one of their like 20 plus landing pages that they are running. Let's go to this one. This one is talking about gut health. If you click on this one, guess what sort of landing page that they are driving to? You can see right here, the landing page, 6 reasons why Gruns is your gut's new bestie. You can see it's the same sort of template on the landing page, same sort of layout, just different copy, slightly different pictures. And this makes it super easy to be able to pump out a ton of these custom landing pages because you just follow the same template, figure out what are your main ad angles, pick your 10 like best ad angles, and then follow the same template for your landing pages and drive people towards custom landing pages. So this one is great. They also have this one, which is on fiber. So if you struggle with getting fiber, you can see it's the same image, same layout on this page, and it's a listicle right here. And of course, it finishes with the product. Same sort of template every single time, just slightly different content. Notice how they always do a number. This is called a listicle. It's an article while also a list. These just convert well because it's just so easy for the customer to just like look at, okay, first reason, second reason, third reason, fourth reason. It's why there are little agencies who their whole thing is they build listicles like this. It's because it works. We have this one right here. We have this gut one again. We have the GLP one again. We have this one for weight loss, 6 reasons why Gruns is a must-have on your weight loss journey. So this one is a different sort of layout and they use this layout in a couple different ways. They have this one as well, which follows that same template. And this was an old sort of template that they were running, 5 reasons why your protein isn't working. So this is like, hey, are you struggling with getting gains in the gym? So they have this landing page as well, directing for that. And then of course, they still are driving people towards their homepage sometimes. So this is their homepage. This is what it looks like. But once again, they're testing different homepages. Look at this one that they were driving ads to, nutrition for life, not just resolutions. We go to this next one. It's just a different headline right here. Better tasting way to get your daily nutrition. So they're testing all sorts of different landing pages down to the headline with everything else the same. I've not seen anybody run this sort of like testing on their landing pages. And it's why they have been able to scale so hard so fast. Now my team actually helps brands build these funnels out specifically with their email and SMS and retention systems. So if you're interested in that, click the link in the description below. You can talk with someone on my team and we can do an audit of your account and see where we see room for opportunity. So they're driving people to these custom landing pages to hopefully get them to buy. But the problem is, not everybody buys the first time that they visit their website. It usually takes a couple times or they need some education, especially this is an expensive product. And so on all of their landing pages, whenever you land on their website, since they know you might not buy right off the bat, what are they going to do? They are going to fire a pop-up form just like this because they know that not everybody's gonna buy on their ads right off the bat. But what they can do is they can get somebody's email address and they can get their phone number to then retarget them and send them a shit ton of emails and text messages to get them to convert because they are way cheaper than ads. To get somebody to convert off an ad might cost them like $150 when they're scaling this aggressively. But with emails, they can get somebody to convert for literally like less than $2. Literally pennies because sending emails costs fractions of a penny. So their goal is to drive as much traffic as possible to these landing pages and then have the highest converting pop-up form possible. So what they do is they have a really strong offer. This is 52% off. But the one thing that you don't know is that 52% off is available to everybody. You don't need to sign up to the email list to get this discount. And a lot of brands are scared to do some sort of like extra discount, and Gruns shows us that you don't need to give an extra discount. If you frame your offer as like 52% off, just put that behind the pop-up form. You don't need to give some sort of extra discount. So they say you've got 52% off. Now that wording works really, really well because psychologically, if you say to someone you've got something, psychologically that just holds more weight rather than saying something like, hey, get 10% off your first order. If I say get 10% off, that implies that I have to take action to claim it. But if you say like you've got, it's like I have this discount. It plays into loss aversion, like you don't want to lose it. So it works much better. You'll notice that they don't ask for email. It's just like, hey, you got this quiz right here. It's like you've got 52% off. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this discount. All I have to do is answer this question. Amazing. Or I could say no thanks, I don't like savings, but I'm not gonna say that. And so I'm just like, okay, perfect. Oh, and it looks like maybe they're gonna give me custom content. Amazing, I love this. Let me engage with this. I'm focused on my kids' immunity. And then right here, now it gets our email address. This is what's called a quiz pop-up. These work super duper duper well because they engage with the customer first before asking for email. It's like going on a date before marrying somebody. You put a pop-up form with an email address right in somebody's face. It's like asking somebody to marry you on the first date. No, first we would need to warm them up. We need to butter them up. So then we ask for their email address right here. And then you put your email address, and then to get your phone number, then it's like finish signing up with text to activate your 52% off. And so you're like, I already answered that question. I already gave them my email. Like, I'm not gonna waste all this effort that I put in. Fine, here's my phone number. And then they get both. This is called commitment bias. This is why once you even start doing something, they're much more likely to follow through with it. So that's the goal with that initial quiz step. Get a micro commitment from somebody. Get them to start the process, because once they start something, they're much more likely to be like, okay, fine, I'm so close, I'll finish it. And so like typically with a regular pop-up form asking just for somebody's email address, you might get like 5% opt-in rates. But that quiz step, that first step of that pop-up form gets typically 40 to 50% engagement rates. So like half the people who see that form are gonna answer that first question. And then people convert at a much higher rate into email. Typically with these sorts of forms, we see at least 15 to 20% opt-in rates. If you take a form from 5% to 15%, that is triple the amount of leads that you get off ads. This is business changing. I do not know why businesses and e-com brands do not double down on pop-up forms and test the shit out of them, like Gruns does here. And the platform that they're using here, if you're curious, is called Alia. Shout out to the team at Alia. We use them for as many clients as we can because it is the best pop-up platform. Highly recommend you get set up with them. You get a free trial. They will literally set up your forms completely for you and A/B test them for you. Literally for free in your free trial. So give them a go. Highly recommend. And so on all of these landing pages, once you click on an ad, about 2 seconds later, you see this pop-up form, and then they get a shit ton of emails and text messages. And still, somebody isn't gonna buy right off the bat. And that's why they go crazy with email and SMS, because now they've got them on a cheaper owned platform. The thing about your email list and your text message list is nobody can take that away from you, and it's cheap as hell compared to Meta. And so they get super duper aggressive here. And so we can go to like their email welcome flow right here. They send an email every single day once you sign up to the email list. And this is the exact sequence that they send you when you sign up. First of all, this is an amazing flow, and a couple things stand out here. One, I just want you to look at how massive these buttons are and how each button is as high up in the email as possible. A lot of brands use tiny little buttons that you have to use a magnifying glass, and they'll bury them way down in the email to the point that nobody's going to see it or click it, because most people are not going to scroll on your email. They're going to open it and they just see this top section. So you need to make sure you have a massive button that even a blind person could click. Look at all these buttons right here in the hero sections and look at how they repeat buttons throughout the email. That is super key for email conversion rates. And the second thing that stands out, they're not shy to talk about the offer. A lot of brands are focused on not being discount oriented, and I respect it, but Gruns has thrown that out the window because they found that it just works the best. Their product is so good that they know people are gonna come back. And so they're willing to get aggressive on this first sort of like purchase. Get aggressive, 52% off your first order. Get up to 52% off, up to 52% off, up to 52% off, 52% off, 52% off, 52% off. They just go crazy with it. And they put it front and center. A lot of times brands in their welcome flows, they'll have a really good offer, but they kind of just like hide it in the email. No, put it front and center, remind of people, because people are easy to forget. So that's the other thing that stands out. The next thing that stands out is their use of infographics. Rather than doing just blocks of copy or anything too crazy, they split things up into infographics. This could have easily been a block of copy, but they split things up a way that is easy on the eyes. People do not read blocks of copy, they are skimming your emails. So right here, you can see rich in fiber, prebiotics, pectin, inulin. And so I can just like quickly scroll this and I'm going to get the gist. Same thing right here, commit to better health. I can see like all these little things and it's just like easier on my eyes and easier for me to understand because I have a TikTok brain and I don't want to read blocks of copy. Same sort of thing right here. Same sort of thing of right here, what's inside, Gruns versus pills. These are amazing educational infographics. And then right here, going over some of the ingredients and a little bit of urgency. So they send that welcome flow and at the same time, they are sending these SMS messages. And again, they send these SMS messages every single day. They start off with something funny to get the brand voice. We shared our Gruns contact card here, give it a tap. P.S. Our founder's wife didn't save his number in her phone until they got married. Don't do that to us, please. It's pretty funny. And then they have like an intro right here and then like a branded sort of image right here as well. Now, I think it's super interesting that they use images in 4 of their 5 welcome SMS messages here. The reason I think that this is interesting is because SMS messages with images are about 3 to 4 times more expensive than ones without images. So this message right here is 3 to 4 times more expensive to send than this. And so they are spending a lot more on these messages. And so it must be pretty important what they are saying in these graphics. And if you go to like their regular campaigns that they send to the list, you'll see they rarely use the images. And so it's probably a matter of these are just super important. This is the welcome flow. This is super important. We want to get as many people to convert as possible. We don't care if we have to spend up a little bit. Let's use our best infographics. And then once they're in our regular campaign list, we can remove the images. But they just want to make sure that people know what's inside the product, how they compare, and how they're like a competitor to AG1 or the leading greens powder. Then also comparing it to the overpriced greens powder and really just drilling it into you how much better they are by really letting you visualize it rather than just look at blocks of copy. So I love how they split things up here in terms of like why their product is so good. And then they double down on how they're different from the AG1. So why pay $12 a day? Because we also pack 6 times more of the gut health ingredients. And then again, they double down on that. And then they double down on the price. So they really go after them before they then go into sort of like some social proof and pain right here. The thing that you really need to take away from this is that they are not shy about their discount. They put it right in your face and they are going to send you a shit ton of emails. Because then they send daily emails right here, just educational emails and still reminding the discount every single time. So 95% of Americans lack fiber. It's strong educational emails right here with infographics similar to before. Looks like this could be welcome emails. You can see again, calling out AG1, just really doubling down on the offer every single day, sending you these emails, social proof, testimonials, pretty design, high converting emails with big buttons and strong offers. And again, you can see just how many emails, especially over like the BFCM season, that they were sending. So over time, people will naturally convert on email and SMS for cheap rather than having to spend a shit ton on ads to get people to buy. And that is the super simple but highly effective funnel. They drive a shit ton of meta ads by using white label ads, UGC video ads, and static ads. They drive people to custom landing pages based on exactly what the person was interested in, that ad that they clicked. And on that page, in order to get the person's email and SMS to be able to convert people for cheaper, they're gonna have a high converting pop-up form in which they use Alia for to get that email, and then they're drilling people with daily emails and daily SMS messages until they buy. So if you haven't bought before, then they are sending you a ton of emails, but what happens if you actually buy? This is where things shift completely, because then they ghost you. They don't completely ghost you. When you buy, they're gonna send you some educational emails, some post-purchase nurture, get you excited for your order, educate you on how you need to use the product every single day. But once you're subscribed, they don't need to send you any more emails. They're not worried about revenue expansion. They're worried about keeping you on the product as long as possible. And if they are overwhelming their customers and active product subscribers with a ton of different emails, then I'm gonna receive all these emails and I'm gonna start to get ticked off. And I'm more likely to unsubscribe from the product. But more importantly, say I have like too much product or I'm second guessing my subscription with this brand. If I'm receiving a ton of emails from them, essentially every email is a reminder for me, oh, hey, I have this subscription to this brand. I've been meaning to cancel this. And when you send an email, it's just like, oh, great, click right here. And then boom, you can cancel right on the website. So that's where they shift into more education right after the purchase. And then they're gonna let their product deal with the retention. They know their product is so good that people are gonna keep using it, so they don't need to overwhelm them with other marketing messages. That is the funnel that allowed them to scale to over $300 million a year. In record times, we have not seen any brand scale like this. That does it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you got some value from it. And if you want this doc that actually breaks down the funnel, then you can just click the link in the description, wellcopy.net/Gruns, and then you can claim this for yourself and use it yourself. Now, if you wanna see us use a similar sort of strategy to help add $950,000 in revenue for this subscription brand, then just click on to the next video and I will see you over there. Thanks for watching.